expecting a word from the Lord today. Amen. I came expecting to hear a word from God. In fact, I better get to the pulpit with a word from God, or don't bother coming to the pulpit, because this is the place. Pastor Stephen, if he would take this and bring it to the back. I had fully intended on preaching on that section of scriptures that Pastor Stephen just read. How many know that sometimes we propose and then God disposes what we propose?
Amen.
We plan, but God has another plan. We plan, but His plan has to come first. And I think that in dealing with one of our saints this week, on a personal note, and then with what's going on in the world today, and specifically in America, I wanted to bring to your attention some important factors about our memory faculty. And as we get older, how many understand that your memory is not as good as it used to be?
Amen.
Our learning capacity to memorize is not as spongy as it used to be. My sponge is drier every time. I'm able to retain a good bit of what's been in there, but to learn something new, particularly in a technology department. 5.5, 6 years ago, I got my first cell phone. What a challenge that was. In my brain, I was still on a rotary phone. That's when your formation takes place in your mind. You get used to certain things. And I had to learn not a smartphone, but it's not a dumb phone, but it's some kind of a phone that I'm able to get on the internet and able to do, YouTube, able to do a whole bunch of things on there with it. I never thought, Pastor Stephen, I'd be able to. Can I make a confession? Probably the uneasiness of learning these new technologies, much of it depended probably on my own personal resistance to learning, my own hesitation. I don't want to learn this. I'm not in the mood to learn this. Does anybody understand when does anybody feel like I feel? Sometimes you get, and you're forced to do that. I just don't want to learn that stuff. There are more things that are more important to me. Things that are more vital to me than to have to do that. But we're fresh out of rotary phones. The only way I can communicate now is when I have God. I was forced to learn it. I'm coming along, I'm coming along. I learned this week, Karen has taught me, and I still have to learn how to send out this e-bulletin in a mass, I don't know how many, bunches and bunches of emails. And she's going to have to come back this week until it finally settles in my brain how this works. So now, having said that, how many understand the importance of the memory faculty? You know how important it is. When I was electrocuted 25 years ago, much of my memory was washed away. And I couldn't retain much. I'd go downtown to Health South Rehabilitation Center, and I didn't know how to find my way home. I was lost downtown, didn't know how to get home. That's a terrible feeling. When your memory doesn't serve you anymore, or even the reason why you're in town. For instance, I'd go downtown Columbia, and I'd forget why I was there, Mary. Why in the world did I come downtown? I knew I was a purpose for this. That is early dementia, if you want to, and it wasn't. But the electrocution process causes that. Eventually, but obviously, it came back. But the point is that I never appreciated my memory more than when I lost so much of it. How many know you don't appreciate something until you seem to lose it. Whether that's lungs or whether it's my gallbladder that I lost. I missed my gallbladder. I missed that disc in my back that was removed last year. I'm going to sound that too. You kind of miss. And so the memory is so very important. And I needed to bring this out to you today because we make memories every day.
That's right.
We create memories every day. And the reason I'm bringing this out to you today, for a number of reasons, but the first one, we need to look at the current situation with this coronavirus, this COVID-19 strain of it, in a way that's going to glorify God. We're going to remember this experience. We can look back on this in time to come with great fondness, memories that will last our lifetime and then some. Or we can look back on this time with anger and bitterness, just like the children of Israel when they were 40 years in the wilderness. God thought that they should have recalled it to memory with great fondness and gratitude. And we'll be looking at that, Lord willing, time permits. But they remembered the wilderness time as a negative. God says, how dare you? I could have left you die out there like an animal, a worthless human being, but I didn't. I provided food for you, water, shelter from the sun in the day. I provided for you a pillar of fire for warmth and more things at nighttime. Your clothes and sandals never wore out, and not one of you was sick and weak among you.
Praise the Lord.
And you now are recalling it as a bitter time? How dare you? How many know what an ingrat is? An ingrat is a person that lacks gratitude. But how do we maintain a level of thanksgiving when we're faced with such menacing threats of death? In South Carolina, as of this morning, we're upwards of over 1,900 cases. 35 deaths so far. But when you compare that to the population of South Carolina, which is now above and beyond 5 million, that number is really small. But if it's your parent, your child, your wife, or a house, and your spouse, whatever it might be, then it becomes far more personal.
That's right.
And so, watch what I'm telling you today. I want to bring to your attention that we're going to recall this time based on the attitude that we have in the midst of it.
Amen. That's right. Yeah.
We're going to recall this time as a fruitful, productive time in our walk with God, or we're going to look back and hate God.
That's right.
And pass the blame game on everybody for this terrible intrusion. The children of Israel had a choice. And it's no wonder at some point, Pastor Stephen, that God almost repented from even choosing them.
Yeah.
From being such ingrats, complainers, whiners, criticizers, in the midst of day by day, moment by moment, miracles of God's grace. How dare you? How dare you? And so, let's look at the situation at hand. For instance, so many pastors right now and church members are not having church anywhere, and they're having live stream, And how many know that the number of pastors and churches and leadership in churches that have live stream are very low in comparison to the number of churches that exist in America today. 85% of churches have fewer than 80 people, 90 people. And they can afford, shall we say, sophisticated equipment to make it feasible to live stream on YouTube or even on Facebook. And so now they're left out so the pastor can be angry. He can look back and say, I lost my church and my members all quit because of this virus, blah, 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 blah. And then some church members who don't have that sophisticated can complain about their pastor and complain about their churches and so on and so forth. Everybody has a choice to either complain or be grateful in every single situation that is faced in life. We can look at this right now and say, somehow, not just being optimistic, somehow we're going to get through this and all will be well at the end of it and at the end of the day. Or we can look at it in a very pessimistic way and say, man, oh man, has there been a worse day like this? And so on and so forth. And so today, we're making memories, Brother Matt, and it's important in this church. That 10 years, should the Lord tarry, 10 years from now, 15 years, 20 years from now, this church will be able to look back on this 2-month, 3-month period and see the hand of God overshadowing this congregation and this ministry. Or we can look back, depending on our attitude and our biblical view of God and the world and life, and complain and criticize everything around us. And this pastor wants to tell you that God still loves us. He's still on our side. And he knows us by name. He knows even the hair numbered upon our heads. And if he knows that, he knows all about the coronavirus. And let me tell you, it didn't take God by surprise. The Bible says in Isaiah that before they call, I will answer. God knew that there was a coronavirus coming, and before it came, he already had the answer, already had the solution. And while they were yet praying, I will answer. So it doesn't take God by, it takes us by surprise. The thing is that it disrupts our lifestyle. It disrupts our standard. It disrupts our routine. How many understand that, right? It disrupts our routines. And we are creatures of habit, aren't we? Yeah. And when that habit is disrupted, we get upset. Let me give you one example. Follow me, boys. I've been in some churches, Jack, I'm going to tell you something. I've been in some churches where I've pastored that certain people sat in certain places, and woe betide, anybody got there a few minutes before them and sat in their place. And they just stand there like that. How dare that person sit their butt on my seat? And I tell them, go find another seat. This is a visitor. Well, I don't feel God anywhere in this church but in that seat. What? You mean 2 seats over or a pew behind, you can't feel God there. And this is the only place. Pastor Stephen out there, didn't Dryden out there? If you dare take their seat. One lady in the very back at that particular church said, I don't like this church anymore. Too many people coming here. Shall we just dismiss them and tell them to go somewhere else or something else and keep us? What's the matter with you? And that same lady and other ones like that, if you happen to sit in their place, they got upset because their routine was, see, that seat was formed just to their butt, okay? And their butt didn't sit right anywhere else. And when your butt doesn't sit right in another seat, you can't feel God. I'd say that there's something wrong not with your butt, something wrong with your feeler of God. If you cannot adjust your faith to God other than by the metric system and measurement of your butt, there's something wrong with your faith. You should be able to feel God anywhere you go, anytime, any place, anywhere. I understand we're creatures of habit, and we want routine. We feel comfortable in that. And so we have been disrupted in our routines. God knows that. And this is an opportunity right now, listen closely, this is an opportunity for us to expand our faith, expand our experience with God, to expand our capacity to reach out to sense God in a different setting. For instance, some Lutheran people, they feel God in a Lutheran setting. Not all Lutherans, because we have some here this morning, and they're feeling God here just fine. Is that correct? Yeah, you feel God pretty good, right? And I know that if I went to the Lutheran church, I'd feel God there too, because God is in those churches as well as here.